All right, welcome back. And up next, we've got Maria Olive, who is a relationship coach helping men and women, especially those of us over the golden age of 40, find love. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so first off, why this particular age demographic? Is there a unique need?
Absolutely. The unique need is basically the fact that most people in this age bracket have experienced divorce or multiple failed either long-term relationships or short-term relationships. Plus, they're in the age of already having an established life. They already have values that they've formed, beliefs that they've formed, goals that they want to achieve, lifestyle that they're living. So they're already established versus being in your early 20s or 30s where you're learning yourself.
But so all of those things, if you put everything that you just said into a dating profile, that sounds like an ideal candidate. So where's the disconnect?
As far as the age bracket disconnect?
Well, in terms of just, I guess, maybe people not being able to find that partner that they're looking for because someone who's established, who perhaps, has a home, has a career, knows who they are, etc., but it's not working.
Yeah. So you asked about the disconnect. The disconnect is especially if this demographic has already had bad experiences. So they're leading into a new relationship with fear, with these beliefs, different beliefs that they have about the market and what other people want. When you're in your early 20s and 30s, you're just like, you believe love exists. You're open-minded and you're seeking it because it's new to you. But when you've experienced it and it was bad, now you're fearing this stage. You don't have faith that you had when you were in your 20s and 30s.
So is this a case where, again, people who are looking for that one ideal love or that one ideal relationship, I should say, are going into the dating market perhaps with too much baggage from the past?
A lot of times that is the case because the reality is if you're in a place of need, desperation, you're basically going to choose a partner. You're going to ignore things that you should be seeing.
Oh, red flag ignoring.
Flags.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So then what is it that you help people do so that we don't continue to ignore perhaps some of the red flags that led us to divorce court the first, maybe second or third time around?
The strongest word I can give you is vet. I teach you how to vet a partner. To know not only, because a lot of people today are just seeking chemistry. As long as they have that feeling and those butterflies, they're like, oh, because he's into me, this is going to work out, But chemistry doesn't last. It requires the compatibility piece for you to be able to hold that glue together to make it last long term. So you now need to vet your partners because now with social media, the way we're dating online on these apps, you're meeting complete strangers and you're going on dates within about a week of chatting with someone or 2 weeks. You're already exchanging phone numbers. You're going on dates with them. Many of these people are inviting them to their homes very early on, and they're still complete strangers. They say one thing, but you need to be able to vet them to actually see that their actions match what they say. Because if you think about back when you were younger, maybe in the 80s and 90s, at least for us, you met people at your school, your community, from your family, maybe church, different events that you're frequently involved in. But now you're meeting people online who are complete strangers. You don't know their background. They're not referrals.
You don't have that shorthand of at least knowing their family or something like that.
Yes.
Interesting. So when it comes to vetting, because, one of the complaints, and I don't try not to get into the gender wars, but women ask too many questions. Now, is that alone a red flag that someone who you might be vetting or looking to get more information from is being resistant to that?
If you, first of all, asking questions is that you're seeking clarity. So if you're talking to someone who is asking questions, to me, that's a green flag. That's a good sign that they're wanting to make sure that, your life, your vision, your goals, all these things in your lifestyle are going to match with theirs. Someone who's hesitant to want to answer those questions, 9 times out of 10 has something they want to hide. Excuse me, or they have felt interrogated in a way that was negative before, one question after the other, boom, 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 like a job interview. And that's not natural. You just want to weave these questions in into natural conversation, into natural flirting and checking in on your day and different things that are going on. So not one right after the other.
Oh, okay. So we're not definitely doing rapid fire.
No, it's not a 20 questions game.
All right. So before we run out of time, though, I am wondering, so then how do you help somebody, especially maybe someone who's been hurt, who might just naturally be a little shy, break those old patterns and engage with some of the work that you're talking about?
First and foremost, they need the awareness of what the patterns are.
Oh, yes.
So I help them kind of evaluate what was the breakdown in your past relationship? What were the problems? What were the things that maybe you didn't see or you ignored in the beginning? A lot of times these things are from confidence. We work on building confidence. We work on identifying what red flags are. We get clear on what those exact patterns are that you had in your past to make sure you're not repeating those in the future. And then really getting aligned or clarity on who you are. That's what are your values? What are your goals? What are your lifestyle preferences? To make sure that you can now ask those right questions. You can not only tell someone else what is important to you, but you can identify whether or not those things are important to them, because we make our life decisions based on our values. So if you're not in alignment with your values, you're going to develop resentment later down the road, and resentment will not last in a relationship. Your relationship will break down.
There you go. Well, I think for anyone who wants to find love and does not want to keep making the same mistakes, this sounds like a great program. Maria, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.